Hey there, I'm Tony Nicopol. This is The Uplift. We got a great show for you, a great cast of characters as well, among them these. A pioneer in medicine, how Dr. Arlene Bennett made her childhood dream come true and made history doing it. Also, a skier who picked up the sport later in life and is now on the verge of taking her talents from Minnesota to Milan. And a dog trainer who gives rescue dogs a home and then turns them into stars, how he gave nearly 300 dogs a new role. Plus, the 9-year-old hoping to get a prosthetic arm who ended up changing the lives of others who had the very same goal. All of that and much more heartwarming news. You know what you're watching, The Uplift. Welcome to The Uplift, the show that lifts you up for at least the next 30 minutes, you and me as well. And we're going to begin with the story of a pioneer. She had a dream at 9 years old, and when she fulfilled it, she made history. Here's CBS News Philadelphia's Stephanie Stahl.
There's lots of laughter at tea time at the Simpson house. One of the residents, 91-year-old Dr. Arlene Bennett, is the first African-American woman to graduate from the University of Pennsylvania Medical School in 1964.
I worked hard, and I was rewarded for that hard work. I decided I wanted to be a doctor at 9, and that was my dream, and I just followed it through.
She was born in Philly and went to Girls High.
This was in the yearbook. Arlene, a brilliant pianist, I've played the piano since I was 4, is helpful and generous.
And in a special turn of fate, some of her friends at Simpson House also went to Girls High. And decades later, they're still having a good time together. After high school, the future Dr. Bennett joined the Air Force so the GI Bill would pay for college.
They trained me as an airborne radio mechanic. And for a long time, I was the only female in the squadron.
At Penn, she majored in zoology, chemistry, and pediatrics. Did you like medical school?
I loved it.
But after a few years of being a pediatrician, Dr. Bennett switched specialties.
The parents drove me into psychiatry.
She's not as mobile these days, but has been practicing psychiatry for decades. Was it difficult, and did you face a lot of discrimination?
I think it was there, but I think my philosophy and my attitude made it easier for me to go through. I probably was blessed in that I grew up in a very diverse community.
And she says she grew up with supportive parents with a focus on education.
My life is an example of what happens when you have every educational opportunity that there is out there.
Now she and her husband, who have a son, are enjoying their golden years with Dr. Bennett reminiscing on her achievements and how she'd like to be remembered.
Determination, faith, and doing the best that I can for people and trying to leave the world a little bit better than it was when I first came here.
We now introduce you to a skier who started as a full-blown adult, and over the past 15 years, she has mastered her particular event. And at the age of 41, she now has a chance to go from Minnesota to Milan for the Special Olympics. Here's Marielle Mose with her story.
Good job, Bethany.
Bethany Musell carves her own path. For the last 15 years, she's been training to be her very best at skiing, which earned her a spot competing on the world stage. But getting here didn't come easy.
When I get nervous, I usually tell myself to take some deep breaths.
Thanks to her many Special Olympics coaches, like Barrett Dussault, she's learned to master the slalom.
Barrett's been helping me with ski techniques, like learning how to bend my knees and learning how to turn a little more.
With Special Olympics, I mean, it's hard to ski when you have special needs. So I don't know, just she's had a great attitude through the whole thing.
Last season, Bethany raced her way to a gold medal at the state ski meet on Wild Mountain in Taylor's Falls. This moment opened the door for her to compete internationally.
This was my last practice before Italy.
How did it feel?
It felt really wonderful. I loved it.
She got her final tracks in Sunday morning at Highland Hill Ski Area in Bloomington before heading to Turin, Italy to compete in the Special Olympic Winter Games.
I'm very excited, but very nervous.
She'll compete in 3 events: slalom, giant slalom, and Super G. Her coaches are confident she'll find even more success at the world competition.
I think she's gonna do amazing. I think she's gonna have fun overall, and I think that's like the best part of it.
Bethany is now 41 years old, accomplishing big things after picking up this sport later in life, hoping her story inspires other athletes to do the same.
You keep doing what you're doing and then work on your skills and be confident in yourself.
In Bloomington, Marielle Mose, WCCO News.
Coming up, Eagle Watch time. A couple expecting triplets and a worldwide audience that cannot wait for these Eagles to show up. At one point, bald eagles were on the brink of extinction, but over the past decade, this American icon's population has quadrupled. Still, every new addition is exciting, and people around the world are once again on Eagle Watch as a famous couple awaits triplets. Here's Joy Benedict.
High atop a pine tree in the San Bernardino National Forest, about 100 miles outside Los Angeles, Jackie and Shadow, a bald eagle pair since 2018, tend to their nest and wait. Sandy Steers, who helps run the conservation group Friends of Big Bear Valley, has been observing this nest for years.
How popular is the watching of this nest?
Well, when they have eggs and when they're there, it's very popular.
The social media stars put on quite a show as 2 solar-powered live webcams capture their every move. The couple is expecting triplets. It's a rarity for bald eagles. Steers says they compete over who gets to sit on the eggs.
He just flew up with this giant fish.
Yes.
And he said, "Happy Valentine's Day, move."
It might have been move, Happy Valentine's Day, now move.
Last year, a global audience watched as Jackie, buried under a foot of snow, sat 62 hours straight on 3 eggs. None of those eggs hatched, but Jackie is mom to 5 eagles who flew the nest. Nationwide, the bald eagle is making a remarkable comeback. Once on the brink of extinction, its population has soared, quadrupling to about 316,000 the past decade. Jackie and Shadow's eaglets are due to pip as early as March 1st.
It pokes by hitting its head against the shell with that egg tooth to make a hole in it and crack it.
Do Jackie and Shadow eventually help get it out, or no?
Supposedly they don't, but I've seen Shadow help.
For now, their fans can only watch and wait, hoping the majestic birds will have some new additions to their nest. Joy Benedict, CBS News, Big Bear Lake, California.
Coming up, meet the man who rescues dogs and turns them into stars. How Bill Berloni takes dogs from a shelter and trains them for the big screen.
Why work with rescue animals?
And my answer is why not? And as a result, 200 to 300 animals might have lived wonderful lives who might not have been alive.
You've saved their lives. And they've changed yours in the meantime, too.
Oh, yes. Sit.
Bill Berloni is credited with training nearly 300 dogs for the stage or the big screen. He doesn't just make these pups into stars, he rescues them first and gives them a second chance at life. Here's Nancy Chen with the story.
On Bill Berloni's Connecticut farm, there are plenty of tails.
These are the original method actors because you're on stage and they're in the moment.
They are the character.
They are the character. Who wants cookies? Come on.
These pups, all 26 of them, are esteemed masters of their craft.
And we start off in patterns. Jane, sit.
With Berloni as their teacher.
You've been training animals for how long now?
I started in 1976, so I believe it's 47 years.
47 years. How many dogs do you think you've trained during that time?
I've tried not to count but it's somewhere between 200 and 300.
Do you remember them all?
I do. There's a saying, you know, when you go to heaven, your dog is waiting for you, and I just imagine going to heaven and a stampede of dogs come running towards me.
Come on, go. Had a light blue room
From the stage,
I am such a divorced dad,
to the screen, Berloni is responsible for some of the most famous dogs in entertainment.
Come on.
Like Bodhi, who starred as Nana in the television special Peter Pan Live.
No, even more hair on my trousers.
And Myrtle, who recently wrapped filming her 3rd season playing Charlotte York's dog in And Just Like That.
This might just be a moment that he's in.
At one point, he has to jump into his bag. White shoes after Labor Day.
Then there's Ricky, who is Bruiser in the Broadway production of Legally Blonde.
She doesn't have an engagement outfit?
His work celebrated with a Tony Award for excellence in theater, the only time an animal trainer has been honored. But he fell into this work by chance.
It's okay, I know.
After taking a job in local theater as a teen.
I wanted to be an actor. I started working backstage, and they decided to do a new musical that had a dog in it. Couldn't afford a dog trainer, so the producer needed someone he could trick into training the dog.
That someone turned out to be Berloni, who was promised a part if he found and trained a dog.
Someone told me they had cheap dogs at the animal shelter, and I went looking one day, and I found this little dog who was going to be put to sleep the next day, adopted him, and that was the original production of Annie, and that was the original Sandy.
And that's what started it all.
That's what started it all.
He became the first to place a dog on a Broadway stage in a major role, going on to train dozens more, committed to rescuing all of them.
Why work with rescue animals?
And my answer is why not? And as a result, 200 to 300 animals might have lived wonderful lives who might not have been alive.
You've saved their lives. And they've changed yours in the meantime, too.
Oh, yes. Sit.
Hey.
Good job.
Working with shelters nationwide to find the right canine candidates, Berloni and his team of 7 trainers get them ready for live theater, where anything can happen.
Pretty, Nana. Ha ha ha!
It's my second home.
And the dogs end up working alongside the best in the biz, including 6-time Tony winner Audra McDonald.
If you could just hold Chowsy for me.
Berloni's dog Tana June is Chowsy in the Broadway production of Gypsy.
Just about an hour before showtime, what is the routine like for these guys?
Well, we get them in, get off their coats, and let them decompress a little bit.
All right, sweetie.
Before showtime, McDonald stopped by the dressing room for Tana June and her understudy Indy.
Yeah, Joe. Yes, thank you.
They were rescued just 4 months out from the first show.
To go from an Indiana animal shelter to playing this big role on Broadway, that's something.
It is something, and showing people that you could have adopted this dog before Bill did, and you would have had that dog.
After all the performances and accolades, when it's time to retire, the dogs head back home with Berloni for good.
Why was it important for you to make sure that they were cared for even after they were done performing?
The thought of adopting a dog, exploiting it for money, and then getting rid of it just didn't make any sense to me.
And even on the most difficult days, Berloni says he loves what he does and has no plans to take a bow anytime soon.
When you look back at your career and all the animals that you've interacted with, what do you think?
I think I'm the luckiest guy in the world. So I just feel lucky that I've been able to do it. And I just feel a lot of gratitude.
Coming up, a 9-year-old who wanted a life-changing prosthetic arm. Her fundraising project to buy that arm created a chain reaction of generosity. Nine-year-old Remy Bateman was born without a forearm and without a hand as well. She heard about a hero arm, though. That's a prosthetic that would allow her to pick up everyday items. She started a fundraiser to buy that hero arm, and she became a hero to others in the process. Here's David Begnaud.
I want to do different things like cut my own food without asking for so much help.
What else?
And doing your own hair. Yes, as soon as I figure out how to do that.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
She's 9 and a little nervous. Cameras have a way of doing that to you. She's the heart of this story because of a single act that sparked a ripple of kindness and triggered a chain reaction fueled by the generosity of people she's never even met. Remy Bateman was born without her left forearm and hand. She's been using a prosthesis, commonly referred to as a prosthetic arm, since she was 6 months old. Helpful, but it doesn't give her the ability to independently move fingers. Last year, her mom, Jamie, came across a social media post for Open Bionics and its 3D printed, multi-grip hero arm. Each finger has its own motor, making it possible to grip everyday items with precision.
Nice.
Remy and her family from Salt Lake City met with Open Bionics for an initial fitting. The hope was that insurance would cover it.
You are doing really good.
Yay!
Insurance said no, that it wasn't medically necessary.
Insurance might say, I understand that would help, but like, she doesn't need it to live. It's a cosmetic improvement. What would you say to them?
I would say, why don't you try to live with one hand? I do understand that you can live just fine without it, but imagine what you could do if you had two hands. I feel like the whole world is built around having two hands.
Without insurance, the bionic arm was $24,000. Like many Americans with medical needs not covered by insurance, Remy and her mom turned to crowdsourcing. Her story made the local news, and they raised $24,000 in just 4 days.
When you hit $24,000 in the GoFundMe, did you think, well, we'll just stop there?
Initially, yes, but I actually was contacted by a very nice man, a CEO in Texas.
It was Andy Schoonover, the CEO of CrowdHealth, a subscriber-based crowdfunding platform for medical bills. He called the Batemans after seeing their plea for help on social media and said, I want to buy the hero arm for Remy. That is where this story takes a turn.
But then I looked at her and I said, guess what, Remy, we have $24,000, but you already got your arm paid for. What do you want to do with it?
Help more kids.
Why did you want to do that?
So people can actually have a life-changing arm, like me.
I love you for that. I love your heart.
Across the country in Maryland, 9-year-old Taj Johnson was also trying to raise money for a hero arm. He was born with a partial left hand.
We've been looking for different types of like prosthetics or maybe surgeries, something to help give him some type of usage of his left hand.
And like Remy, Taj's health insurance company said denied.
That kind of hurts because you're telling me that a kid being able to function with daily like tasks, something as small as feeding themselves, getting dressed, you're telling me that that's not medically necessary.
But these are everyday important things.
Yes. Yep. Things that you need to be able to do to survive.
When the denial came in, what'd you think you'd do?
I sat and thought long and hard because I'm like, I can't just ask for donations and ask for help. Like, times are hard as it is for people right now. Like, what can we do?
Taj's mom, Caitlin Skinner, started selling lemonade, but only raised $1,500 in 4 months. Then she got a call from Remy's mom.
We wanted to offer your family, our GoFundMe got so much love and support from everybody. We wanted to pay the rest of what Taj needs to get the hero arm for himself for you guys.
Oh my gosh. We are so grateful and thankful because I really just sat here today and was thinking like, I wasn't able to do this for Taj for Christmas, but maybe like next summer we'll be able to get it done. Guys.
Have you met Remy?
Not yet.
No. What would you like to say to her, Taj?
Thank you for paying for my prosthetic, and I hope we'll meet one day.
Yeah, that would be great, wouldn't it? That'd be great. One day. I'm sure you'll meet her one day. Yeah, that's my guy.
Taj and his mom drove to New York City to meet with Dan Green, who will make the mold that will become Taj's hero arm. And guess who else arrived in New York at our invitation?
Hey Taj, how's it going, bud?
Good.
Good, how you feeling today? Good, you excited again? Yeah, ready to get the next step done?
Hi. I drew a picture. Sweetheart. It's for you.
Remy brought Taj a special gift.
Thank you, Remy.
Remember that lemonade they were selling?
You traded me lemonade for your robot arm. Thank you, Remy. You're welcome, Taj.
A new friendship forged through the kindness of strangers. The donations for Remy continue to pour in. So you know what she's done? Pay it forward. She's used the funds to help 2 more children purchase their hero arm. 11-year-olds Faith from Florida and Gio from Peru. As for Remy, she is thrilled to have fingers that function.
Awesome, I love it.
The hero arm makes even the smallest things a triumph.
Wow. Yeah!
Look at that, Rems.
Wow.
Yay!
You know, friends, Remy's story isn't just about overcoming obstacles. It is about giving others the chance to overcome theirs.
Hello, camera. Bye, camera.
That is our show. I hope it brightened your day. I hope it lifted you up. If for some reason it didn't, go ahead and press play again. The reruns continue to be free. I'm gonna go find some good news.